Bamba leje Alaji Bamba Bojale Bamba Bojang Alaji Bamba Bojale Sukuru mono banta Jinjambe banta Jinjambero banta Leminati kabandingo banta Jada kunda sise kunda Imamu kunda turele Sane kunda nyancholi beawo Suma kunda bamba Kamale Muna belare njara dumazo Boja ulu bana sangara mani ba kondele bala Dugun nimbala famala ganda nindaulajo Ika mansaya le brin sangara kono Inada tiliji banko gangambia Boja ulu kamansaya Ali badu nga se volu fali e bren tubabu nola Gambia Se vola nimbara bali boja mansayada suma kunda Adela mansayada bren tubabu noti lola akita se volu Adela mansaya kola jumale mansayada Wala mansaya kola jumale mansayada Sefo sanjali boja mansayada Afana mbota suma kundale Barata si kembujele aye kembuje sa tewlelo Adala mansaya kola jumale mansayada kote boja kunda Sefo Yakuba boja mansayada Adafana musuma kunda ngoledi Akale jam sakarambulo ay korda di moja majamala ala sefo Yakubola birka makono Tonyala kukende kiebede ya dunia konole munasa inganga diale Adala sefo Yakola Jumala sefo Yada Sefo Dembo Santa Moja sefo Yada Afana bona suma kundale Moja kunda Alim masaya lemu Dunia kono Birola sefo ya banda Sefo Dembo kelembo jamma sayada Ande mana mansarin sule Wallahi Jumala yo sada sefo yala Wala msefo keke bojanti Abada hula kundale Wokola jumala sefo yada kote ke Gambia bojam kunda Wala msefo dembo juju bojanti Abada suma kundale Aliman sefo du jebang bojam kunda Gambia, Gambia, Ndebe Saila Sule, Gambia Cairo be Gambia, Ndebe Saila Sule, Gambia Gambia, Gambia, tebe say la sule Gambia. On sol de Gambia, tebe say la sule Gambia, 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 tebe say la sule Gambia.
Tula benna kunko to buena la famoli wandiding muna sula benna kunko to buena la famoli wandiding muna sula ni benna kunko kantal sa kanta woye kunoli kanatinya mbaning pa woli bejikiring sula benna kunkole Gambia banko molo ndolta sula kumpa on sotola na kunkol kono ikanna ala fali do ya banko molo na mo balla balare nyum kunkol kono na mo kende balla balare nyum kunkol kono banko ala falu al namira Gambia la nyin sula kumpa molo itatana kasika man na moldo ya na banko kan kasoe ka kuma jawol for na banko timoli banko ala salba siri ala wuli na Gambia bondi sula kumpa ngole nyaal balla ntulolu balla nalba siri na kunkol kanta la li kanta al kana son kunoli tinya na banko kan na kunkol kono ntolla mo balla ba nyim banko kono kabiru mumu wala balare nyim banko kono na kunkol kono anna Gambia bondi Gambia alkalolu Gambia sefolu mbali danila billahi rasuluye al Gambia bondi banko molba kumbola dindi wolba fala suta tili musol ba fala la dingol ba fala tingol to al mamari wolba fala tingol to al dol ba fala tingol to al signol ba fala tingol to minna fulo al natije kabira al mumuwolu kul kata for ballati Gambia kono minna fulo kanati na for yalandi motina la fatole ko ataka wili keme talulu soto somanda kamin tomo karo kono wili keme fula talulu ala karfajo akanalo akafale ko mbaljo la wili sabala karo banko molu mina bakeri ni duriya Gambia kono nyone ne bantale anna Gambia bondi ali mira la signola al ni mi siri nyokan wala katali bade ali tilitema dinna fulo ka banne Gambia alkalo ni sefolu alkali jamala kumo jimi jang sefu jamala kumo jimi jang alkana so boy kala alal dingol ali tantu ali al signol tontu ali al badingol tentu ibe tambila ibe duya mulema mina kukendo ke inna fulo ka bande alna mira alna Gambia bondi
Mimbe Kering nkafo wole nyama
badi nyinde atebe kodi ma bade te mi yaron ko Home Digital FM 99.9 ani mimbe Kerin TV wole nyin sambalena atol min yaron ko alka safaro le ke fir fewol le bal budo alafta ka bin kankula ning alnata Home Digital FM jamo kankular bundal te dami yaron ko ning e kankula dunia bele kalong e ka fengo mi wafi ani kama minna ando manna da wala atul min yalon ko project ko bale bulu gabia banko kanim banko e bantara na lafta mole jim project ko kalamuta janne modulati alsina kachano dami nka advertisement or kaliyele dami yalon ko nse voice kali nga bi mix ngana murung nga eali bara manna da wala ni lafta talk show la dami yalon ko business ole be bulu wala project ole be bulu isina sino radio to janne wala itarasiri na online tv ine mole den kachala pour nyin kamala ese ku jama lonje ntelu dum mobundale timi yaron ko ka fahamuro yurwande kanda malu ke kilimoti wala munna lo kankuoti wala ya sabu ibe dawoda ni atara safaro le be bulu do lafta mole kala motande kana ker nan tarabri kama nema bana laftan command la drongal se fero ke alien commandi plus 220 779 4475 wala plus 220-734-3125. Hanside ning altulbe diaspora alsenna WhatsApp command nole plus 44777-1676-759. Wala mimbe kering nka wole nyama andum fanan nka ke wole nyama.
Introducing the future of hassle-free and seamless financial transaction. The Una Wallet app, empowering you to effortlessly manage your money anytime, anywhere. With the Una Wallet app, you can now enjoy branchless banking, wallet-to-wallet transfer, wallet-to-cash, and bank cross-border payments. Deposit at a bank and withdraw from any Una branch. Get ready to experience the ultimate banking convenience with the Una Wallet app. With just few taps on your phone, you can effortlessly add funds, withdraw, and send money to your loved ones. The Una Wallet app also provides a detailed history of your transaction, making it easier to track your expenses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the Una Wallet app today on Play Store or App Store and say goodbye to hustle of traditional banking. Uno Forex Bureau Limited, delivering much more than money.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين بعد البيت كنتم كابو غامبيا ني غامبي بانتلا الله تامو الله واتو be teddo tembe to ngal konton Allah watola ndol fele say so mandale ke mandalto be dun kan tilibuloto bi dim ensafo bi tenal lumba binketa be karo atili muan woro 2025 bi mu bank holiday ti wala fonanding lunati Angleterre jang damianon ko min lunglu ya kerekerele kake fonandel lunati do kulalie pour moli si tariswo kono si fansoto no isi de la kujamal keno mashallah andu nyina fana kaka lungol damianon ko moli si fundi sita de form parade ka kulke pour ka to bring awareness over something ni lungol fana kaka lungolti so momo be suirin so kono mantrata do ko kan mantrata do ko la sainten because of bank holiday bafle happy day happy rest day bu million ko fana wol fana do ko la bari service dol bije wol mo continuous service let and foy mo lay tarje ka service will deliver because we cannot afford an interruption of those services, and human intervention is critical for those services to run effectively, even though we have the coming of AI is revolutionizing everything we do at workplaces. We still need human intervention. They are critical. So dunia bitaka wala temboto. Mbe dunia la bayinde kan damianon ko there is this super intelligence mianon ko ya develop para mangi bi kuti imeta kanne imeta do kulale meta do kulale but wabol jang kukiline ila ko den dinte jama wala nyinte ko nin kunata ni any invention on that nan itil kajila ko even though it may have some negative impact wala nyinte ko kumodo mol sa ko with the coming of AI human the labor force is going to challenge the labor force, human labor, right? But nina hajibe fanang ekamene fanang ko lonyente ko in every opportunity also in every such invention they create opportunities mi alon ko abetel ma ko la bake ila economy to because ni banko le kan sign taring dulal taring e man chahani la economy la e man chahani la resources nyolla how they need to be economically viable or vibrant or active, right, in their participation in global market, or it will follow la resilience, la sustainable development in terms of how they manage their resources, all play key part in the development, in their development aspiration, in their development processes. So kunanata, they grab opportunities. Many of climate change, but I feel saying, well, climate change attack another opportunity for a lot of companies. Companies came out of that, and it's now a multi-billion investment opportunity because of this climate change. So kula mumialonko ku kunanata itelikajileko it I care advantage I care tinoti I care nyatatat jorawo jorani anati tolli adada itelika kele pour I care tinoti ban tol ndesan ndol jorawo do bi ni atada instead of ayin samba nyato akandele samba komal mbulobe komal sa ko ntel fata findu 25th of May, right? Every 25th of May is set aside to kakem lonti kamole hakilo blandi African Liberation Day. African Liberation Day keta lonati damialonko fatafion nyaton kolu bankoli kantaring ibe kafta nyoma ye mirerke ko ila experience in the colonial domination and the experience in fighting those colonial domination. There was a lesson for every country. And Italian they are bound by the same fate and same destiny. Yaje ko ni kafta nyoma tumade lo kafu nyomo isi ku kele miyalonko dunia fanankono e be kele nyon tanlet. Because in their own rights ye kula soto ye naminaji kula soto ye kula soto min manke min nyon tanlet. Comme ndol africano la ka jutu na soto fon la ndel ka jutu ale min din tolla ndol la ka jutu ale nemo min din tolla bari ko be africa ni africa dingol yo long africa nyaton ko yo long wallahi ta tulna africa dingol la ita tulna africa la soto fon la bari be nyila kono ko do bi jam ko do ba be ko do kono be ko la do kono to nyala million jaw yande wala million ko ka neo-colonialism the system million ko is built pour que Africa ke dron kala ka Africa fondé la soto fond la ka africanol damalu kun sunye kun senyola ka africanol profitino kono dron ka africanol fan use ke ila mo nyumal kele ke la mo nyumal duben ke la mo nyumal ke jamfa au système wala be kere andum ni système fana nata ke fendi melonko al système man africain na fa fenna pour quand exploite le drone nina soto fengol million system o dada wol na fabe kata wolle tangot nanundo alfale nyim bejele ya kelo ka kola ya kele fo bi mbe bi kono hani mbe bi men to afele bi mfal Ibrahima Traoré afela fundita milango to reactivate the African dream again molo milango mashallah abe silo minkan tumado jam fate bayla is going to be silo milango be fane ngani lela fane jam fane ku jamalla bar ni belon tonyaka afan believe to ko belon tonyaka ko na fata kono dana ala life live le oto tonya mbadolo ku bu kana ni sode akono tako ni ko be mol nyaton kala e be sonnale e virisa e be sonnale e dimin e be sonnale ta selo kono e tambe sonno ko beke ko be soto je bare ko ka fo ko kamlon ka ko ta ka nyambo ka dila jama abukala ba because muneketa imam bata kunna ko mi imam bata kunna ni ya nyambo ya dila mbade lo at jam fa baka baye je al tarikol be jibe al ta dulal to tare al kiskis rolke mi man bata ko min kono e bukala value long wala nan kanilo fo hanu gambien ka fo wato beto nko gambien na struggle do momo ni atelo ko benyim banku mol nyafita nola abe kala molti melon ko en struggle understand at the fan he went through the struggle man fal kam mo janba ali nga nyono no bula nyum banku ka nyum banku billahi ali nga nyono no bula nyum banku ka because iti amede te botal e mambo ite mambo ni nyolo mambo mbe ko min kono ali nga do nyofe ali nga karam tarikoto ali nga look at the timelines of events kabin 1965 the independence struggle from banambe bimento ali nga karam ni ma lo ta kebal nyininka ta kebal kachandi e kunum foye isi be understand no because ni man be understand no ite sama nyasi no African Liberation Day ñu lonkata longoti mielon ko on the 25th of May 1963 akata longoti mielon ko o bankola alfalu be kafta nyome tata Addis Ababa ka follow ka me Organization of African Unity from OAU. That is the birth of the OAU. African mielon ko njil nyaton kolu will be along ko mo there was a struggle for independence. But muna fangat nande ko akata Addis Ababa. There was a moral lesson for them. Muna atna ya dula choose ko akata ya Ethiopia Addis Ababa. Because Addis Ababa kuleke mialonko is very unique in African history. Tomorrow atelemu bankuti mialonko almost imme colonized no. Ya katale ko beke. The only country, the only colonial attempt Italy tried, but even that was even short-lived. They rebel against colonialism, against domination, foreign domination. Ethiopia lo bankote Africa mumo be kono. Adon otembo fanan anatake fende mielon ko ala infrastructure la ko be ya jele ko temmo atelem bankote da mielon ko asikino woto. Otembo ngamela you have some radicals in in Morocco and Monrovia. Each of the bank to Milanco, I would be kilo 20, Haile Nyaton Combia Haile Selassie. Purcaio Diamo Molia Puriake Kilenti. I do tell them at the left after Molo Milanco, they want to have this Pan-African idea from Africa Bake Kilenti. It told them Patrice Lumumba kata Magos Gavenyolu kata Kwame Nkrumah nyolu Thomas Sankara nyolu nyilum ananyo nanyolu te banna to set the pace, to set the tone for African unity. But Nico unity, political independence was not only enough, but what was more important was the dependency, the economic dependency, our resource independency. We are so interconnected. There is no country, Milanko, you can do it all by their own. You have to have, agreement or trade agreement, trade relationship. And in dunia katanya mutembo, sako mol Milanko, you are bound by similar fate and destiny. Unless the global world was about against exploitation of your resources and exploitation of your economic your wealth. Anu mnena take wala moto mboto ni na rajibe ni colonialism ye miroro min tuntol bulo temboto wala nyinte ko ntolu itol natal kantol civilization de ali mam imagine kantol civilization de e camera ko civilization mo ndar Africa well before the ni fali bina atara ko Mali Empire ngat la ñum fala watu be na diamol ko Mali Empire is a typical example of everything good about Africa. Mali Empire damman where Africa ban where ko lekata Mali Empire wala do safa Manding Empire that's alinga ñu nakaro bu la je dulanam bianon ko for example at Timbuktu the famous place min commande ko Timbuktu they had their it was a center of Islamic it was a Islamic center where you have universities, where you have library, where you have all sorts of things, intellectual giants. I call it Bill Africa. They had mathematics, Pythagoras, the top mathematicians, scientists, you name them. They were all in Manding Empire. All these people were there. We had our own governance system. It was so unique, representation. And a legal system, a very functioning, a full functioning legal system that was administered by what we call Kruganfuga. For UNESCO na Fanjele Kajoko is one of the top legal documents. Me human rights and human development on you, I have decade. So I will see non to Yanyale Kafako Bentil civilization de la. To Nakaro France that Walter. Because they painted a picture, Kafa control man civilized. But more Milanko, any Londo Besoto, any Ferro Besoto, ye had Madonna told dealer. Manding Empire was very diverse. Manding Kol Bije, Jolal Bije, Fulol Bije, Serol Bije, Sio Belebacro. Ye Marloke, Marlomin Kalsata, Duniakono, Amansot. Because the Jelemu, a cold base at the Walter, almost. Kaje. Cold base at the Walter. Adu Watembo Fanang, Mansa Musa found a Tarikoto. I mean, ala when you talk about wealth, dunia bekono. Ni mansam nekilin fo mansa fulan jabe kala mansa musalti. Ni man follow mansa musala wala tele kala fulan jamati. Because of the amount of wealth, I mean soto. Abodo mun tole Manding Empire. Abodo to ala silo kata maka. Nkame mola kata maka. Silo. That journey was pivotal in bringing about globalization in terms of trading, because near the B, Banco do come to Egypt, near the Sanol like a Banco do Moy, because Tarikolo Bacono, Mansa Musala Tarikolo, will have than the B, we are seeing what is present in the present day Egyptian Sifal. Badolo alinga murunga na munyi ninka. But mimbe kere wala nyindeko. Nin colonial ni mol milan ko kafina di colonialist. Mile enjoy yande wala mile system on na pour kan exploit. Right? Ye ila saferol to, ila literature nyolto, ila educational to, anina femfe min nat non kolka. Ya kenna pour imanna yentel dinail yen nakarle na tariko fanto. Because odemo nimingo Africa mu fukar bankole kan e kam pentwol nyama o manke tonyat nimin vanango Africa non man civilized o manke tonyat so ilani missionol min nat nan kam mission school ni everything nan ka pro in the so called pour canton civilized da manke tete ina tele pour kan ay resource ñu ta ke exploit ke samba. This is what is called colonialism. But a sign tonyala jolol mantare mol kana but there is a system in place a neo-colonialism. Neo or newt. Anywhere you hear neo-colonialism or neo this, anything that starts with neo, it depicts the modern, the contemporary right? Paradigm of that issue. Wala mo niot. Ni ko neocolonialism joya kuto mi be keren o system olati. System mo nyim belte jumat le mono. The same people mil na de ne jolo dum na mo la ke dunde o kulun ko no ke samba Atlantic Slave Trade. O mo kenen le system mo built in through the market, through institutions, globalized institutions, and you name it. Pour Africa to be nyaming. Pour yalna ko the potential in Africa is so great. Yolande. And munat nambo fokan Ibrahim Traoré is proving that example. Ibrahim Traoré in Burkina Faso is proving, is living that reality, is living that dream for Africa. Yaje wana banku te kere min Gambia sako banku te kere Africa min fukariat. Min be kere bankol kantari wala tilimbaliat. Ba katun ko kabiri yen joyam kol kele. Ye miltu ge. Millennium Isafako, the struggle for independence. Millennium kol kele. Wal tata le kabiri ya kol kele do ma fa bede. Do tata le kabiri wal now they have their hands now are in the resources. Yenyim kodi balje. Yenyim nafulu balje, yenyim feng jamal all the luxuries ya jebulu. Bari manon ko in fact safu yalon ne ko nyim feng manke talti. Nyim feng mu banko mon la fenat. Dole dunda o kelo kono iko yake molle. Bari yar fan dole bije yake kunkolole. Because muneketa natal wol banko la banja ngi nate ila banyaje nyaade le nate ila banta bulu jumal le kono wala banta bulol men kono o bulol nata kawol la tolta ni o molu kilon ino e mil kilon wala murute kan nan ko teke ko di baldi la ke bright ko dukare mbulana ngamuru nan ko teke lafta alla nyim mineral la lafta alla nyim mineral la lafta mineral ya beta ya be exploit atol be sini banko kan dole bi ngalonde dole bi malo ini mo tafawta ini kullo mi don leke meeting behind closed doors ini negotiation okay in our name using our name and our power that we have vested in them to decide to make those decisions rather to exploit our resources but jumalla who were the benefit ya mira ko ito le ganyata because moneketa ye jokodol milla kickbackolu aning ye bribe kodol milla they use that to build wealthy empires. Let's take that example to Gambia. Let's take that example to Gambia. Aye mbek mo do fala jambi askinote diala dolye bare fonga ko yala ni mbek mo fala molye ni man bulo ni man ta ya bulo la kan tek so mi da do bekeje mbitala de because din tare ko be dundu ñoko no baake ñi ñoo filendo be siar mbake ñi jamal la banko misinformation be siar jamal ñi misinformation be siar mbake jam ñi jamal la banko fonga kuoluta by evidence call me yalon ko by evidence mantra kuma fo jam yalon ko not evidence because of nga fem fo jang atolle yalon katam be dot because aketa gambe banko kan aketa gambe banko kan mbe nyala mbe adu mbe nga moy nyola so evidence de tambito wala so let's put this nana ñing diamon kilenu but man na in detail même fo ko wala ndeko African Liberation Day, the moral lessons, the issues, the struggles that led to that. And we'll fast forward to today. You know the same realities you export to Gambia. Charity begins at home. Let's look at our own self in the Gambia. Empire for them. That is an African perspective. That is more like a wider example, a wider scenario, a wider reality. But let's restrict this to Gambia now. Don't forget Mali Empire or Manding Empire. Sunjata Keita aido ko minki oto. Manding Empire keta banko de mel dunia be ko na keta example ot. ye mo be la nyanto dila ye mo be kumandi e ma mobo moto e mo be la hakko tanka through a legal system yanon ko amman anyoma soto hani da fa min do wulo kono ay la nyantol dila insignalu ayna signola hakol tanka hadi comme alqur'ano fa fo nyame badu ali la moja alqur'ano ya fo nyame hadi madu nyanta mala nyame society kono ma fa ko Mali Empire or Mali Empire was based on Sharia hani de bari kam min fo jala ne ko na alfal miliyano ko sita iman laf na karola ye molu mara nyala mielon ko it's exemplary representation democracy indirect democracy from the world Manding was so civilized very powerful empire ye ko min soto dunia kono hani min nyabe ni advanced democracy min kam min ko mande ko so called advanced democracies jama bije ko do bije ya bonni nan jande ya bonni nan tolle bulu let's go to tarikol ya there so mbobe kono alalon ko nin ko manding empire nin ko manding amanke manding ko dam mande ko mi ngafu nyame you have siol bele boko bare marlo kete nyala milan ko so jeta ay tajriya ay kele akote kele jam ako tajriya te kele jam mon la nyanto tinyaawo te kele jam ay keloke aday mol wasinde pour nga do koke ntarola self reliance what ni ko independent not only politically but economic dependence everything woto mo furinte woto ma fa ko mo furumbe kerinde bar mbe men fano ol bakala furinte ma nyala dal because yalla ko momo ale fende dila e do koke e taro fisa so let's take that to Gambia but imagine fana jande bafna Gambia nin Manding Empire the all the call min bebije na modol bi jaminan ko ile bo nak ibo tare ko nakari kan ibo tare ko nakari kan e contrôle wo mol natale ko ntol man civilized ite lebina control civilized de ye ndam mal dundu ñoko no fok wol keta bi Manding Empire ji bebi Manding Empire ji bebi we are all fragmented you know e divide and rule so let's take this to the Gambia now African liberation no nimba kila for charity begins at home even though we are aspiring for African total unification of Africa but there are some things it starts from home so aninga Gambia independence struggle kita sadara karaba jawarana la mulu e kolbe ke struggle ke ye keloke for independence ni fanalu ya jele ko there was need I cannot do political independence but I can could be ko self sufficiency they came with Tacito wo Tacito nying amame bake in Angleterre jang ya use janne the timing ya use mune kono la governance system o there was austerity ko big society Tacito lo opera Tacito la concept le kono namolu how big they think how visionary they were so yo beke adun jawara la marlo kono alim belebe nyum bankun kanja ali la moy ko ma xala belebe nyum bankun kanja belebe sedot ama mubu mot ay marloke nyala miyalan ko ay mo bere kanyande ina mo jende because tariko la tariko na karla o tariko bi mol mina kalo ko dawra man fenke nyum bankun kan iko jawra man fenke nyum bankun kan e jawra fem nana ya be do ya be dubel jawra la marlo ali mol nyinin ka o banko kan to a point that wo konante ya fantaral fo atlo kuta ye bora patio men ya patio ban abemo ka ban e kamere mol le fa e kamere jawara mol le tata mol le ay mol le ki kata ena ke you know ke samba komi ena e kata ke toto e kamera ko jawara e kamera ay ku jawle ke kamol le fawni banko badondo ay national institutional law mielonko they were now on the road to the pride that Gambians can see in themselves. Ninko independence would also go with identity, the cultural identity, the national identity, to give us the path or to lead the path to that actualization, that self-determination. Thereby, to believe in ourselves. But it will start building, become a nation building, starting with the institutions. Me and God are going to be very iconic in our struggle for self-actualization, for self-reliance. National institutions, I state an unprofessional national. I law. Yoke. Fast forward, Yaja Menata. He wanted to wipe the whole that Utariko be. Kalo Molajang, Yawaraman Fenki, I called Bekita. I sunyaro sifa bela jawaraka. I la mojanda. I sunyaro sifa bela jawaraka. I minka am minka belaka. With narrative in Dolulu Kono, they are still going with that narrative. What Keloning among a continent. Or you Kabio PPP fa. Or PPP not ning patudol min narakaf nyoma. Kakwale Soroke. Wo Wonara Kuki Milanko, the biggest threat to Mola Milanko, they had no agenda for Canada resource exploit. Canada resource exploit, Canada Sotefolta K Nakaraka. Or Nakarol in Vendema for Jande, TRC for the jail, Onakaron, Jana Commissioner for the jail. So don't think Alcanafo Lamukona Leboyum Foka. The evidence are there. When I'm going to Foka, the evidence are there. Don't even ask me. Right? So if we're going to go by Janet Commissioner report, if we are going by TRRC, yaje me ko minkije. Lana tambol minkije. Ayake mune kama iko nka mimmoy. From some of the testimonies nka mimmoy. Abem UDP kelot. Wal nsafa jamabe. Okono anata lana tamboke. Ka UDP ni manden kol kun senyola. Kana lana tambo fananke. Kan manding kol neng kafo ko manding kol te mansal ni banku abe katari ko buruka kan nakaroke mun tolamu because jawara amam menke ni banku ka il a faut dalaka aman tilimbale menke ni banku ka ya penti wala nyama bara marlo kono tonya nimbe tonya fula ay tari ko min tu ni banku kan we wish Jawara was back. We wish Jawara could continue. Because ya tariko ya fali ya trial ya ko bereke ka fali ka distort mi man ka tonyati ko la mol ko la kunna to make some people believe ko Jawara was a problem. And even to extension Mandinka was a problem. And man ngona non kontak me ko modo fala jati dia dole but fonga ko modo mol patatal sila. Me tonya la fala nyoy. Nimbe diala nga dia tonyaka nimbe kwela nga kuya tonyaka ye tariko be kinyum fiñu bankun kanja hanbe bi men do bi banko kan bi wo politiko kono mol kun hanbe bi mol koy tejela wo narrative ñol hanbe bi men to ya jambe atu mol bulu janne ye dun aduno be kan iman sonne jila dunol duno wal kan katila ani nga buñu kono way let's liberate ourselves. B. Wallahi mo kana so moye nyaaku. Metu la ñel nakaro kono. Wona nang kat la falon ko nim politician lu meje alundol banku de nga ñoje. Ali ngam fanje silande. Politician lu laftal mu ne pour kan kumolta to distort the narrative, to distort the facts and the history. Abe kan ñu nakaro ram. Because be sire mu ne kan ya rafa be sire mu. Let's go by what Yajame was doing. Yajame Kabir 1996. Election on nominal fair. Abe mu fraudulity, abe mu tapalayality, abe a state resource le use to and abuse his office ndema fo TRC la fo jana commission. Don't call me here names and bilis ndebe min be fo ka evidence all there, right? Going by those evidences, I'm talking about it. Ko ndolu, the evidence are there, right? More than they testified, right? Holding facts. Mianko, you can imagine we can Gambia Banko kan. Konan teyani ya suku fa tap against the people, innocent people. I lana tambolike. Kumol fo mianko koleata imo mandia. Adito ko banko mol le mareka. Ye alqur'ano sika ye kali ko be ko to mo bula moto. Bari mol nata commande njela nata idun deka. Ñi mam betia ñi manke ñi lemul problème ñi nek ta ye suku ye fam ye fande tap ye ka fande wol mol ka say ye ko ku ke kala na tambo ala fa rek bari atol donko the same people the same ya jamale ka pan-africanist idea preach molia bara fana molu ay ñun konande asata wolli. What was their crime? I mean, I more far Gambia Bankoga. What was their crime? Okay, let's go back. Let's go. Let's rewind the clock. Let's rewind the tape. Let's go back to hear some of the testimonies at the TRC. What was the proof? There was no proof because they were forced to testify against Imanko Mimbanke because of the totally Kobeke, ye Kumakan Bondi Bulokon. Tatayolo used to prosecute them. But ye mo forcé ya tocho e kaya nyumfo ya forcé pour ayofo na ayofo sai yo ta as an evidence ya ta ya prosecute lana tambe bala keta banko ka ha ya no mo fu janne ngolonne bar putum be min foka nyalande the narrative nyi ani ngam hakroto because politician lom ngalo ko vla belmo ngalo man ngol tal sotole bari budum be min fokol ko ni nyaaton ko imanya ko si fafo nyaaton ko manya mo dole nare people si tala le ko mo dole fo e ñom monma e ñom siolma bari nyaaton ko manya ka lo ka kuma tan fay siol ka nyaaton ko manya ko ke nyaaton ko nyanda kala ite alquran ta ye kali ko mo be kala kilimta. So wobe caring yaje mela ko be kala marlo be mbenga mbekata sedol to nyimbankunga mbenga sedea ana minan telling sa mbekana be e can believe in the kotek the same narrative yaje me min tutam mo be going around to make us believe that narrative again for their own selfish agenda, for their own selfish aggrandizement, for their own ego. I can take me back. Going around, narrating, it means you are giving into the hands of the dictator. Because dictator left me, election was fraud-free, was not rich. That's the narrative that some of these people are trying to give into or play into. By saying anything otherwise, you are validating the old stolen mandate. In 1996 from Baby Metro. Let us not give in to the narrative of the oppressor. That's how they want, that's how they want to set the records. That's how they want us to believe, make us believe. So, narrative is not evidence. There is no evidence. Narrative built. Kakemol solomo kono kamola additional ke jahas. The same thing, 2021. The same narrative. Kakuma bale fo, kasiolta, kakuma fo, kasioma, nimbankunga. Ibe siri wala ka. see nakaroleka. So mulka nagavako ha kari ganye dalo kari manganye, you are now given to the hands of what the dirty politics you mean play. So you be excuse that is fine. You mean that is fine. So ordinary people be jama be after minna na common law no saying you are now questioning that. You don't question the Operation Mialango is going about doing everything to reach election. We're not talking about that. So Africa Liberation Day, it starts from home. Charity begins at home. Africa as a continent is so endowed, blessed by so much possibilities, or so many possibilities, so much resources. But in the sun, abe more level of the elites, they have used those resources to build businesses out of that, to create business empires out of that. Even though the constitutional will be will manage while in office, they shouldn't be taking part in businesses like that. Conflict of interest all the time. And conflict of interest, it leads to corruption. If you want to go nafulo tangaka, but if you want to nafulo taka, if you want to go nafulo taka, kira tell by business or ka topoto. Omusunya rolte. Mbariolu, Africa, ocean rise. Africa will not be the same in the next few years or generations to come. Africa, thank God, this globalized world, where information is becoming the anchor, all right, on which so many citizens have begun to ask the legitimacy of some of those regimes who are bent on conniving with the oppressor to exploit their minerals, to exploit their resources. And they will continue to ask. Mimbeke in Gambia, Galala na in Gambia right now, where these association of Gambians or coming to Gambia, the stolen assets, Gala, for example, right? Womu, another example of what is coming next. What is coming next? Nani programo kono, nkani ALSAMAA minki na nana afu janna fanonko. Movement of Wulta, movement of Melanco, they are hunting down every stolen good from Africa to go back. Every stolen good, every stolen asset, every stolen wealth. Melanco Akunam Africa. They are going, and it's growing. It's growing there. And something starts with few people, but immediately after it attracts global movement, it attracts global, support or donation or patronage, and that is coming. Or it will inspire global, action. So, Nilu, Kabrina Museum or heritage Niltu. Film Veniaronco, coming to African Kuru being Gutaral, make command. Nyanya Casila. All Kumad Lonne, through our in the mole connector, cow mole, cow fronta, Cabondina, Mission of Walla, Cabondina, and the Bankolka. They are sitting in places like, Florida or Ladolto in their museums. And they're making money out of that. Because some people are flying, taking, because number one choice to go and visit a particular country. Because they know they have done their research, this particular event or this particular artifact is found in this museum. So that influences their choice of ticket they're going to buy. So they will buy the ticket to go fly to that country to go and visit that. And every time they are in that country, they're making money for that country is making money out of that visit. That is called tourism. So, Kuol Bilben Polia, Africa fam na ba nyama tourism yentol bondele tourism damman bay Africa be bondele banko because ko le bije even the colonials kada mandam ayenda kala fenne to mela ayenda kala jel hanni NIA kul min kita NIA a foman dia ni yafo molise ma molke is moldol murunde kote kala back to their wars again and their pain again bari ni atene ko evidence man tampanu wo kul min yalan ko kita NIA wo evidence will bije bari no wolenta kala jel no wolenta la ñu jel no bi mul be maralo la tumara si haklo bande luwolun ko ku tilimbal yana inambele tilimbal ya ala ban bukala ban kunke ibuka ko kunke mi dañu fula la jan hani be bimintu moldo hani alman karande because ninga je hani be bimintu ibe paramilitary use la against people innocent people ngafro kal man karam imagine alla kebalo mi lan ko kafle ko order from the top o mari ñul fanane ko alla constitutional right lo mu o galam mo la constitutional right lo ka funti minister ba fala ko ela right lo ka funti sa ite kana ite mi yalan ko yebale right yebale lo pamido la yebale la right lo are you talking with your seniors? Are you talking in the same language? So the same thing ibole kala on the commission me command if you are brought to explain some of those decisions if Africa we've been clear now follow around is their right to protest nko follow law beto say you be be foka atol katal ke deny pamidol la al manda wala no al ka mol ki kan ke tilimbalia ali la may bang al kana so yal use as scapegoat al kana so yal use sama sin billah wala bari gresla ni bade be ñun blato akumande dunia ñun tapale ñun tilimbala tel banna an billahi hani gambe fam gambet billahi ndele ma ñum fokala momo dabi ñun tilimbalal to albari gretla de alben ni misala la barol la alben ni misala munat na fam al fambula ñum mo fiala buli bal yusla alben ni misala albal bulu ko de la lumena binal alben video ni na fa ko lamin ko na de na ni fojal to lamin ko na ñu fojal nga fole de adu ba fole la ko te ali nga tani hakilo la ali nga doman ndessa ali nga fota nakarola ali nga fota tilimbal ya ali nga tonya di la mbe kuwe sumaya mbe tar karo kono banko bar nin kon dokela mbe nyon nakarla mbe nyon sin sabala etete ta do tata mbe tar ni kono adu mbe tar nyo blem la do sa tara ko etebe balandin tonya minna wo balang ni wole mbe bla ni marti bobe ko kon tatu la nyoy ali nga ta mbe futara jele bari nake lumbe sile dole ko nyako wallahi mo do kele klentele kay wona ko no fembe nyaato ko nyi ngoje be forcer fo mo be ke klent ha fa ngo be ka klent de nim mangi klent nake dawula lata mi be mel dada ajibe trop nim mangi politique diamote ndebe mi fo ka I'm talking out of evidence I'm using those evidence to reason for us to help us reason better ntengal na ko ndebe ka reason batul ma hakili mandet bare budum min kuma ta jawlan ko alin kana nyina min kedo banko ka alin kana nyina min ben dalaw banko ka mola ku kana na ay distract kana fenje ay distract mola story kana ay distract ikana chong ye narrative na ta yata ya gi bondo dumbulo ko no ila itela kadola ndel fambe ñoo fala wala subukulo dumbul bulo ko ñoo fala kulo avec les banques ngane nga fem ko jam fa manki jam foy ma fo ba ite dakar la ko o man fo amanke ñi banku nga fem ko jam akital so what do we do about it? It's very sad ko ñi ketal some of the events the timeline well sometimes our action today should be informed by yesterday if we are acting differently as if not yesterday never happened, yesterday never took place. Or there's something I can interest in back. But Tonyala is still a ego follow nyaw this. Is still a personal agenda follow nyaw this. Is still a cool follow nyaw this. But think about the collective masses. Think about all of us, not only you for yourself. Mbebe ko min kono. Mbebe alhalo min kono. And this is not alamani la molkan. Fan le ni lankan because fan la sonda. The la sonda mimbe la molkan. Mimbe la kan sontale. Anyanda kala molla le mbolo fokan. Because ninka dictators nyol wala oppressors nyol excuse. Ye suñaron ye tirimbara min beke ni bangunga. E wala tilimbala no ko ben ko jankandi. Minimum ma penna min yawo kelo ke ko atakela jang. Nga ñatlo wala ngombe o doyande lan kembe jamfala mbe Dakar la. Badu man ko toñati wayi. Utekino la toñati naka ofana mu nakarolati. That process alone is nakaro famu nakarolati. Nakarolamu. Nakarolamu. Sonno mo fam ko ne bal non ko be nakarol. Ani ngata ko. Kudo ben kam fan nimma nyola hakko di nyola. Ofana mu kudolati. Ofana mu kudolati. Manyola hakko di la manyola tonya dinna. Nim dol ni nyaton kol ma din to fan be bizir be nyona kar. Del gambe don. So our aspiration of coming together as a country, let alone Africa, will be far-fetched. So Africa, what is happening in Africa, left alone go use and related to our own situation in Gambia. Africa, is on the backbone of, at the back of Africa. Most of the things they are enjoying, the resources, the mineral in Africa alone. Go and ask Burkina Faso. But Kabrin, France only has started to lose grip on Burkina Faso. They are now, look at, they are doing everything. Because some of their survival, some of their important economic prosperity for future or whatever is under threat. Because through their leadership, ñim fan melon kal ka bondi jang al kan nakarle ñimu Burkina Faso ko le tat adu it will dam man it le tam ndela marlo kono nda sonna ngaka faluma ngani kunam la fenka. So imagine that. So let's take that back to Gambia. Ya jamena tan ne fon sunya e ko beke let's take ya jamena as a colonial the colonial here or the oppressor here. I never found better. I don't know that little song Taubulo. Hi, Gambia is back. The Euphoria 2016. Gambia is back. Accountability, transparency, no co-befo. So, Commissioner Lord and Quebec. Yeah, I told you call me. I told you the Minkela can't only protect. Kajako, there is a transparent process in place. Because muneketa nga yajambe tonyan kodo wala nga yajambe condemn kodo la because lack of transparency. So atol nata atol yanda minkela to ensure that everything was transparent as far as it is public good. When like transparent, right? Ngoje adibe hani when sometimes kuketa Angleterre the parliamentary committee modo commanded to come and explain. Everything is live. Everything is documented live. All the proceedings are recorded live TV. Live. So saying when we find into pour aike nyat sama hadam aike adam baro fine lesson note. Ay karan kono ko jemol kunam le fon la jila ba kunna to ye processo ke damian ko ay dama fangay kawandot ale fanga murundi nan nyanta na nyami fen kana to man koto itate do tate banko be fem yemol kuna minna e ko ngambulo la ngamuruna ay ken lesino de wala ko never again tiara sinata wala but ni mi fana jibi ni mi fana jibe tia jana commissioner was also part of that never again well that never again jana commissioner was also part of that even though it bukafoko never again but ni na hajiba the process ning a better kamol kawandi not only to recover the resources, the stolen goods or the stolen assets, but pour kamul kawandi, kamul karandi in the nation building exercise or process. But in ofanang koning adun nyamoko. Men saying mfanda man saying menyo sosoka. Saying the oppressor is excused. Now nobody even talking about Yajamena anymore. I come in saying they're not talking about karema nyingi jan mfano benye yoso sola apena kile nda malte mo sonko fat après ça sambi comme il y a atam kan ka politiko dundu dal ka be politicize because dole bije ito dam banya nyin koy ke dol sont ngale molje how people are thinking so you're not talking about the issue here. But it's an issue of minty to find any shape or anything possible come implicate. Come implicate, it's after more mere implicate. I'll go back to the process. Yeah, use the auditors, right? They have the expert knowledge and everything to do a forensic audit on everything. Mi hapun daja. Udah manda bang, kurang manda ning atraka akatanya mama, mana itanya mama. Wain jul jamala jod, because julomi bentel bang ko kanja. Asara bake. Bari ni masa kunda kita fanan kita masa kunda di menon ko abo julol fa ba multiply ka. Ba kafu control. Niko African Liberation Day. We are so much indebted. That is a threat to a prosperity, to a expression for prosperity rather, and also sustainable development. How can we be piling up debt? It's not sustainable. It has so much consequences, negative consequences on the generations to come. So Kumbe Gambia is a generation issue. It's not only limited to what today. The impact, the consequence is yet to come. Will continue to felt generations to come. So Burkina Faso is a typical example, just as Mali Empire was a typical example of the struggle against domination, colonial domination. Mali Empire, I quote Beresot. The facts, the pyramid, and everything. The Islamic, it was having universities before the coming of these colonial masters. You had mathematicians, you had scientists, astronomers even, yeah? In Manding Empire. People were living in dignity. Culture was number one. Very cultural. Very cultural. Han mi bimento Mali alta Manila television to alike tune alkila call jibe. They follow their programs. They are into culture. They are culture promote. And tourism is there. But don't in Gambia. So much potential out there. We are not exploiting those potential. Abemu muna abemu nakarota. Abemu han mi bimento man we're not ready. itidame ko ko kuniake ke kadole mako min ngende gambe sambala mi yake ite kamera ko nyimbe nyinke kan me dole mako ka yake politique ya politicize even do yanda kala wo be mum bela nyaato talti ya politicize politiko be nyim banku tinyaka so on days like today we salute the heroes and the heroines menanko you realize any fantastic ideas of the core bound by similar fate and destiny. There was need for Africa to unite, to protect African mineral resources, to protect African identity and culture, or even not all, but to promote and encourage free trade among Africans. The benefits would be unimaginable. Unimaginable. Abe mune fankela yalo nga min fo nga kukli na fana na diamol kono nga kudolo fo ngo Gambia the most important resource in the Gambia is the youth. Human resource is the youth. So too Africa found the best of the best. Africa means wala youthful population, a young youthful population. Miranko is so talented, so skillful, and so intelligent. Africa also. Eko tara dinen ko akos fiula ka juta afang la London. Bari fiula London la ka bonde. Fata fung de leka jutum fangal la. Fende fonna fat nka pure ko fata fiya. Ngani mine ek because o fata fiya fana nyilu milbe santo nyil master nyin colonial ci leñi narrative set into les deux ko fiya is about to this being black is about something else because the literature from those people means that anything black is not good or anything black is horror anything black is negative. Yeah, you'll depict. So that alone is problematic because that literature needs to be challenged, needs to change. Until that is changed, there will be this discrimination at people's mind about Africa or about the black. And Nico black is not only black in Africa. You have black, you have black, you have Arabs, and you have So, but Nina Abeji Baker mean beyond Africa as a continent. Be attacked, you more colonized, and that legacy is still built in our institution, is still affecting our nation building. Because in become account for na account be na culture ne kuja be ngamira ko ni keta tubabu ya mu ko mi fisi mentality wala ngi kare demande nak soute at university and maybe been away for like 10 years we muruna back to the village or back to the town we fana amira ko budata fana nyot he even looks down on at boda minkono at wuluta minkono ay nam alfaltar minka namari tara tubabu do non namari tara saudile awo wol la fonko be na ayna alfaltar men na ko alfaltar man tara ku keka alni ko bula imagine say so this is problematic. So wala londo yo karang yela mol doya yela mol kajafi wol yela mol tar minka ite wulu minka no ye doya so let's look at that. So including my humble self. Nung tol tada ngana mol tar ngana alfa tar minna ngana ko tar ngong instead of na kafima nga proud me mun kono ngam fando yandi ni hani ko nte ngaje okay nte mbaka na kan fofu nga wandi kan la Why don't know? It's a problem. So there are so many possibilities in Africa. So Ibrahim Traoré is reactivating that hope in Africa that is possible because the man is believes in himself. And look at what he's doing. It's very impactful. That is why and that is why ning alama ala simala alama mena jam bar nimma hakilotu afangano molu ibolo use la kam woli ina kukala sama sini beina dum minimiso kono ngani fo. Let's look at example Gambia again. Sinkana ninga fem for is in sabun in Gambia nimbal nyato abe tonya fokan akon benga ke clint wala benga tam benga bo but dole bina le bol use la le modol bi melen koy bol la use la pour itel fait ni ol use ni nata isinya itel be tapale al milke kan lafto min la banko gay sa nya soto no through those people ayira mo jande alon billahi ko do bi nimma to mbe sa sifa kala mbe sa alma ala en tanka wala baranga to the political scene will be crowded again. But not everything that glitter are gold. No, so not everything that glitters is gold. So maybe for Kenya so many different agendas la bedun kan ko. But to let pitanu hakilola aning hakilo to nyot. Because so many different agendas la be kumba takini ni besan na nyola jam. Itemera ko do bi jang mimbo ko mani wala wallahi be kala kele fanna ni ko mimbo ko ma dukul loto banki oto ni yelo billahi be anu nganyum ko wadol bi en kan sisi fa ko dol la billahi ni ngalon do ya do na benye jam fa do na benye jam fa ko la iko ni julta jam fa ya siti nyalal ni julta jam fa la wallahi ya siti nyalal it'll be crowded. But La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu Gambia time or sitale adu menyun karafo la mo be bon fa be kele nyala fatte kele nyala but momo not in political scene. The individuals will be should be subject to how do I pronounce this word? Unprecedented scrutiny, unprecedented public scrutiny. Everyone should face an unprecedented public scrutiny. Because more life, na mo nga kere do mo na dom pam way jam fa min ko lende baka kamon ni misande ani nga ko fe nka kudo le mala mala tado bu kudo ita bi ko mera kudo mala mala ya mera sanola wote man ka sanote de mbodo foy ko time nim man karan min kana mol ko ni bangon ko wala ko mole be lonna mole be tolo sutela me and struggle understand. Me and where we are coming from, where we came from. But you know what? It's a matter of time. The reality will come. Go and do good studies. Sometimes miracle can happen. But miracle don't be no chance like that. Because we don't know. We don't know. The unknown is there. You don't know, I don't know, you don't know. But tanga min londu min be blok ngo min londu. It didn't be 100% in Holland. And those people have gone through so many tests. Man tajam photo. Anyway, ala baraka bake. And yamo siata but mudung banango number kijani mi lofte kaflamma 0044 777 1676759. African Liberation Day. What do we learn from it? And to relate to our own situation in Gambia. That's the issue. Or that's the as a reminder, until day, African Liberation Day, lumena alfalu, mili kamanta ko Kwame Nkrumah nyolu, Patrice Lumumba nyolu, Thomas Sankara nyolu, Dubois nyolu kata Magos Gave nyolu, Haile Selassie nyolu, be kafta nyoma, promoting African unity, Pan-Africanism, protecting our resources, our identity, our sovereignty, and a lot of things, community sovereignty, Africa in itself, I kept fending we speak in one voice. And with the Maling at Safaro Kenyokang, the Malam Banco don't free, right? And to realize their full potential, prosperity, you named it. As a because we are so much in doubt. But ni mol nata ida mal ko nte kinol kenti ida idun dan maltem yam fatam fanzo dun dan maltem antano, and we are vulnerable because Munekena is very diverse. Well, diversity should be our strength, but not our fragmentation into blocks, into hatred, into so many acrimonies. It shouldn't. Nyele bankudo kalo aka jawol host ake host akoyo ko alnin ken Africa banko when you the whole idea of OAU, African Unity, African Liberation, in 1963, on the 25th of May, 1963, it happened in Addis Ababa. This came to become what is now called OAU, Organization of African Unity. And in the same year, United Nations for Economic Commission was also established or was hosted in Addis Ababa. So Addis Ababa coming after me is so iconic as to why they decided to choose Addis Ababa to host this, because at it fought against colonial domination. Almost, it was the only country it was not dominated. It's the only country in Africa. I mean, now Italy are trial, but it was that it was the rebel against Italy. Within 4 to 5 years, you'll conquer. But in where others, they succeeded in others where they were living for like hundreds of years. So more ikamile ko nira kibe ko fongol falbe kerin ne to dum nganal be kerin no anin ikamile mi kamile ko mi balanta nim de kamile ko nyancol o manke be nyancol de mulo ban ko ma mandral to len ka nyancol bari ndesan ku jabal be kerin ni atara ko nyancol be kerin wallahi wolto sonna ke molla bari mbo fanam fola ndol sunjura bonus on lati, right? Because ni ko sunjata konata lamu jalole ka fay moy mané ko ay ketaro min ko ne ka fay keta banina jibe ndesan ay kelo minke ay legacy min to ndo fana we should die for that legacy. We should die for that legacy. Come katilimbali natna ideals will live, or ideals we should continue to live those ideals. Nto sonna tilimbali alla tilimbala ba dawdan ding mbenga balam o tilimbala kela mo be mo hakko tanka mbenga ta so wala mbali lo limi la fedina African Liberation Day 00447771676759, and taking example of our own situation in Gambia, not katana na wala nyama, because koku charity began at home. African Liberation Day. Some people might even be talking about this African Liberation Day. But we'll finally Mavako abede, but more will be we'll finally moneke when it comes to Gambia they're not even bothered about what's happening in Gambia. They're not. You're talking about African Liberation Day, which is fine, and that is good. But charity begins at home. So nintul parliament clean nyola wala mbula banko nintul parliament tra nyo kumandika mantare nyo sembentu yandika bari mba trekan kanyo jindi kanyo sinsaba kanyo nakar mbade wala do golde pour nga fundino kono nga ta ngon kan dabula African liberation, which is good, but it will start from home. It should start from home. Nina haji benna na Senegal bi ni ko food sufficiency wala banko mi nga nyanta fannola na Senegal hayna be nakaro min kono e be tilimbali am min kono banko te kere min ko mi la Senegal fa bo tilimbali kono yalla so fa table imal dia imal la ko dia fo sama do bina kan fo sama do fa bina kan o banko min kan yal tifli tafalande Q money yal ko beke jumale be who is going to benefit, who is benefiting from that? That is one businessman benefiting from that Q money. Senegal le bi yankat lay yal tafalante al mala ko do soto ade tilimbala do be billahi wala Gambia al tulo be nyim belade nyim be kerne de ngali malom be min kono al be tawdam be tawkan nyola ko take min be dara kan wala be sialam be min kono bi alta bimbe mol dala bi abala fa si fa ben tol dala bi nindele mo long ñoo fe right mbem fantula wala mbem mol la calling be, we are giving them excuse, we are even giving them, we are amplifying their work, we are mandra nya loka wal kon kan nyalo kulle ka minimum important mini binakila nte kubondi no la nyoka ni binal ko teke you continue la ila syndicate la that would be terrible. I think anyway 0044 777167675 now. Wala mo number ti ni mi lafta dina okay. Oh. Bari wala butung man kolje butung anyway maybe kala rek wala ñu ko sa kasaro yalla fo lundo sa kunu man nano fende fo bulumuto kama wanda ko mala ngana rek ka ALSAMAA na lepi inshallah butung diamola man dia ni nga fen ngon dunda mo kasila nala ko dani min kuma da jangolo ñu ko lungol min ko mun dan limbi we see how best we can raise awareness over it, but also to contextualize it, giving personal, attaching personal experience, in the whole thing, so that, the issue will come out, clearly. Because so until falme min kono aningo ta with the concept of liberation, niko freedom. What does freedom mean to you? Freedom. Amatia said, freedom. I'm in for freedom. What is freedom? Yeah. From economists, and psychologists, and you name it, they have different lenses of freedom. But anything na inborn right, there are things we are non-negotiable. Anything that is non-negotiable. The attainment of full human right. Human right. They are inborn rights. Yes, you can have some privileges along the line, But there are some rights whether they are in the constitution or not in the constitution, they are your right. When you know who to you know who to so fenete kweren dunia kono men si bal no wala. Right to life. Yes, there are capital punishment, but you can argue so many things. Right to life. So it's a so you've deprived somebody's life, yes. So you should go through the process of punitive measures, right? Dictated by what is constitutional. But if people constitutional means there are some clause in the constitution, they can never be laws until it is taken to referendum. They are very important laws. No politician can decide that. No cabinet can decide that. No National Assembly can decide that. Those should be decided by the people. Only the people. And that process it should make that election, referendum election, should not be reached to suit what you want. Although we have democracy. Democracy should be used to decide what the choice of the people. If people are going to decide that you are denying people their right to choose who they want. And yet they call that democracy. Right? They call that legitimacy. Somebody agricultural minister sabale anana ko ha banko molle Adam Barrow fenke so they're using that, they're claiming that legitimacy how that election went, but now they're talking about they're relying on that so-called legitimacy. Assalamu alaikum, Mariam.
Wa alaikum salam. Lamin.
Nam, njati, binyadi.
Ni konto mbake konate. Naidro. Anga terwe nyadi. Bayalbe.
Yebi alhamdulillah.
Kontanate la.
Tanawatanaja.
Yo, programo di atanta embula ta tema bari ngajire nata a story for evening kan.
Yes, summarize. Yes.
Programo min kan tensi Africa la liberation.
Yes.
Mfongol nyanta liberation so to la nyadi le.
Yes.
Mfongol anonim mfongol ma dim mfongol lamin ta so to nola.
Exactly.
Ta kana ba de way ka ko ifongol ka tina mo KCD and ifongol ka tina mo KCD.
Banta.
Africa me da mendo na nyato nkulu wolle atina besitiri. Tibabo le city because sembo tanu Africa. Tubabo le city kan jomolti because go to mo sembo takiri na kebalu wuli kan alfalu kwa me kurma yoni mo jama isi itolo yalo so wuli fundi tale Africa no boldi o le jomo yakolo iketale ye to yalondi sanyi ko de ken dolmin tuta ko ma ko de dol fo mo ko be ko mo dika o tibabo la ko de kaburu wo jo yakido and mota bondi no la kan de ko nil la tangal liberation so to bastola but nil la tatula tuma bulo na saral bulo ko be tumi bulla ko and nil dol ma bonde ndi mo sa joyata mama ni ko joyata mu ni joyata alma ale beki sawa la min nyabe tenke la Burkina Faso la president ni an ka be lori Africa yi be lori because ni be kelo bila man ni man da kera kan Burkina Faso da mai Ibrahim Traoré is new senjata keda kele kan pata la bele barinde na ye pata la dolu be wolbe la den mo ko kam ko ka kew ni
bari bo nyama gambe jibe example gambe jibe rek ni be kere so foi mo so do be la mo do
abanda ita mina mele be libre dola tuma bulbulba annun tuma bolta balu nola Africa koma amon possible ndol Africa no sa balu nola tuma bol mamma ko de but tuma bol le balu nola Africa koma so why nyanta o good la tuma bolla ye tara dora o bol be fol dora gambe jude balane mfongol kalon ka fu durami na ko nyindi ko de dinka jaw bana bi da amata ya ka ni janet amata ya dinga lon ko diamond bi de ka fu mo ko he nyindi ko dinga mira ko diamond bi atra mo fi nyindi ko mu dikka te de balati alna alfa fadila ta bi wala mo na pedo ni na kodo modo ni anko doctors who have not degrees ba ko kan ko dula de bete ya ne min dula mu ku kan de base akari ma bete ya Africa Africa no nyanta sila ne namira banke fa wala ba ko do gende ka sila kan fo kamira muka konto bulandido muna na Africa de koma muna na Gambia de koma tende ko selfish interest o min de don bulol ko nimman hakilu to baka tida
wallahi
nimman hakilu to nimman wulu na telisi la vita libre la digo te da mamare ko te da mulu libre
wallahi
anu time wala sita pour mo be guye yelo mo place mo Gambia je libre la yo ya ko Gambia je libre la everything kind of things me Gambia ko da banda
mo be liberation should be global it should be global
everywhere
it should be global we should all know what Eco injustice anywhere. Eco injustice anywhere is just yes.
Africa nyaton ko lika continue killing min beti ate economy lafta imantre poso ko de jubeka imantre de family background no jubeka ibe Africa de jubeka iko ko de Africa no kono Africa nyaton ko ike continue because you tell me ko ni ibota nyaton kayala o ni to la bi beti ate de mama ko de ko la sama beti ate no you don't know ni de party de tata bari la ko man ni ba la ko ma ito ika kasane wo to kuma inyanta kelo kala kela o family tuku bani man kelo ke furi ko ita tuku nola ani fa ke se ko te no nola de dare
yeah
ni te ke jay ko tra mo biya ta bari asemo wa dai Africa mu ale alo alma ale mo do hakilo la alma mo le so ale mo so hakilo la ngam Allah advice mo ga follow up ta bulado man ka ma defal inshallah baraka
wala Mariama Cham dinga tundunga je bade wolu dum bedana la jande because programme gol fanan kanata mela bak wala mo alula programme ot abudum kalbe tentu kalbe jay kal nimbara ko do bije mfanle bo wala mfanka ala to jila nan ayo afa ko menyingala ngara fa ko ala kitala ko be kala kite ha ngalo ko ala mu ko bet de se sostenata mu man soti bana ay man nyali na kensen amang bulol na kensen amang birono din na kensen right ani fami be din ay kar famol la pour nga tamandi bar nimma tamandi ngul la fo kamala ngo ala nga ko ta nga bilem ala kam ani de ite fana ngore ma e ka ala dole fana fo min ni ala tikken turla min mo ala la klint ala nga ala min lo mbe da man so right ala is very fair right ay hadama de fene dila ma min di dola ay neje kuro ke dolla atela non right ay buto min fanan ko marjalo ni ko ay man daro ke chahano kama daro mun na ko ay pour to nya sabati nin daro mu to nyalate ala fa mu to nyalate so anything about ala is to nya kana to nya tanofo ina wala ala kan ite fa be ala so kolla ni okay ala so kolla de ala man min fo kana fo bo sembe be bo fo la moliye ibe on ala so kolla de alma la tunye yo so min bi jawlo ni ko liberation total liberation total freedom right is self mastery in itself is a condition of total freedom. We have to master our own self first. Ite mu jumalati adite ite dal nako ite mu jumalati janni bolon na you have to know where you come from e bonena munako you have to understand your struggle ni mo long ni man kunun long ite bi long no ade ni man bi long no mimba kan nan sama ita nya sinola you will be lost. So min kuma ta fana wala inde ko mo kana ta jamfeti ina ko to kay suti mba fala ko ni le mol ko na opposition ni mol suñay ko be ko mo la ja wala fon min tu suña mol bul o mol ko to atule na jelen do fon murun lan tolka atul fana man naaw ko na nyama abebe dundu kono be su ñoko mbe dem mal be sonkala fana mo Gambia la problem when we talk about liberation, because that is abe militante kam mo lalon ko there was injustice atul be minke kam you are trying to bring about to unearth all this tapalalin corruption in Bekere Bangkok. That is just, and that is justice. But now, justice may after that lalto, that process nyim fanang almamol na karje. But from what we see, the portal, and that is a disappointment to so many Gambians today. Because the ajama manyana kasutia multi, aina kutaka jam for multi. Nga telefo ka tele nyimbeke atele kule ala lam ay ni na sunya ye o man nan to man na fa na sotuno anyama very sad. So jumana yajame bifisano yajame nyadi ni atele ko tay minta handu bin do telefon be ñoo fan telefon be ñoo falo ko fanka. Unbelievable. But the colonial mindset, the oppressor, and the narrative, let's not buy into them. Let's take things they are evidence-based. It's very toxic, and it's not relevant. It has never been relevant. Don't give relevance to that. Let's get yourself away from that mentality. Na bankoje. Na bankoita. Mbenga dia. But ninkon tokela. Mbetula batala kono de. Adum. Batado bije. Na lo kutela. Alma ale mbetakola. Abudu du amala maninga. Ninga fem fo kuntia. Ngala ko dan. La baraka bak forward do inshallah. Be albetin tumbal be la baraka bak.
Bambaleje Alaji Bamba Bojale Bamba Bojang Alaji Bamba Bojale Sukuru mono banta Jinjambe banta Jinjambero banta, leminati kabandingo banta. Jada kunda sise kunda, imamu kunda turele. Sane kunda nyancholi beau, suma kunda bamba. jumale mansayada kere babo jam mansayada ikaba dele kere mamma ibo jang sangaranga obara mansari sule wala mansaya ko la jumale mansayada sefo sanjali bo jam mansayada afana boda suma kundale barata da sike bujele ayeke buje sate olelo adala mansaya ko la jumale mansaya da ko de bo jam kunda sefo yakuba bo jam mansaya da adafana musuma kunda koleji atele jam sakarambulo ay korda di mo jama jamala ala sefu ya tumola birka makono donya la ku kende ke beta ya dunya kono le muna say ganga diale atala sefu ya kola jumala sefu ya da sefu dembo santa mo jam sefu ya da afana bona suma kundale moja kunda alimma sayale mu dunia kono birola sefia banda sefo dembo kelem boja masayata ande bona mansarin sule wallahi sada sefu yala wala msefo keke bojanti abata hula kundale wokola jumala sefu yata kote ke Gambia bojam kunda wala msefo dembo juju bojanti abata suma kundale aliman sefu du jebang bojam kunda Gambia Gambia ndebe sayla sule Gambia Cairo be Gambia tebe sayla sule Gambia 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 tebe sayla sule Gambia
Sarung kilinge birika masuma kunda amodu bojang waye sangarango Mansaring kilinge birika masuma kunda amodu bojang waye sangarango Munala kilinge birika masuma kunda amodu bojang waye sangarango bojang sangaranga ini urara ilo dulale bambanda wala tinambe jamuna ba modu Kende ada fale pa modu ida be hiro lukono Gambia melie demokrasi murundi nanga Gambia kono pa modu bojang sangaranga ilo de la banko yela banko bondi mola hiro media la hero mola hero media la hero baringa nyine lo alisiyo toka bona mandin kono atalla bota sangara madiba konne bala dugun nimbala fa bala ganani tawlajo mandi